Saan kabalitaktakan tayo pinalad na makakahuntahang muli ang isa sa mga political analyst na suki na rin ng ating programa, si Dr. Froilan Calilong. Doc Calilong, good morning po. Johnny Bañez, Drew Nasina, live na po tayo sa DWIZ, Aliw Channel 23.
Morning po, Dr. Calilong.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Drew, and good morning po sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay. Thank you for having me again.
Alright, salamat po. Kami po ang magpapasalamat dahil walang humpay ang aming pag-imbita sa inyo na hindi nyo naman po ikangay, ano tawag doon? Tinatanggihan. Alright.
Not at all.
To the point na katanungan, ibinasura na po mismo ng Kamara ang impeachment complaints laban kay Pangulong Marcos Jr. What's next, Dr. Calilong?
Well, actually, this is something that I actually expected. Number one, nakita naman natin na meron talagang mechanisms that are present, particularly in the House. No, nakita ko to especially when the third impeachment complaint against the president, which was supposed to be filed by Congressman Mike Defensor and several other opposition leaders, against the president, did not materialize. No, kasi sa lahat ng impeachment complaints, I think the third one, yun talaga ang merong sufficient substance, to begin with. Pero yun nga, nagkaroon ng mga technical issues and so hindi na nga siya na-file. So expected din naman ito that hindi nga siya lulusot sa lower house kasi nga alam naman natin na meron pa ring clout yung bloke ni Martin Romualdez. Obviously, he was in the Congress last week and siguro some kind of loyalty check, I think. At the same time, nandyan pa rin naman yung sway, yung political sway ni Sandro Marcos, dito rin sa Congress. So, expected that this will not push through. So, I think all eyes right now is headed towards the possible endorsement of an impeachment complaint against the Vice President, which I feel will have a rather smooth sailing kumpara doon sa impeachment complaint laban sa Pangulo.
Doc Calilong, binabanggit mo na sufficient in what yung ikatlong hindi natuloy na impeachment complaint?
I think that one is supposed to be sufficient in substance. Remember na kapag meron tayong impeachment complaint, kinakailangan kasi ma-satisfy sufficiency in form and substance. Yung kasing pangatlong impeachment complaint na yon, the way I see it, was really well thought of. It was carefully scrutinized and meron talaga mga preliminary evidences that were included in that impeachment complaint which could have established a probable cause for us to be able to see na meron talagang sustansya yung impeachment complaint. But the first two ones, I think wala talaga.
Bakit kung may sufficiency, bakit Doc Calilong hindi ito inendorso ni numan sa mga kongresista?
Well, alam naman natin na meron mga powers at mga forces na nandito sa Kongreso ngayon na talagang medyo nakakatakot din naman gumalaw because number one, hawak nila lahat ng makinarya, hawak nila lahat ng resources. At kung meron mga kongresista, I believe who would want to endorse it, they might also be thinking of what's going to happen to them. Number one, pupwede silang patayan ng gripo in terms of yung mga tinatawag nating mga allocations, MAIP, guarantee letters na makaka-apekto rin naman dun sa kanilang mga constituents. So, alam din naman siguro nila that even if they will be endorsing it and if it is sufficient in form and substance, hindi rin naman to makakapasa dito sa Kongreso dahil nga solido pa rin yung mga kaalyado rito ng ating Pangulo.
Doc Calilong, sorry pero hindi ba dahil din dun sa mga personality involved dun sa third supposedly impeachment complaint ang dahilan kung ba't hindi ito nag-prosper?
Well, maaari po, dahil alam naman natin na yung mga tao behind this, like former Congressman Mike Defensor and Jean Paras, for example, even Attorney Harold Respicio, I think very vocal naman sila to be against the president. But like I said, no, when we file impeachment complaints, no, we need to look at the veracity and the validity of the complaints first and foremost before the political color behind it. And I think ito yung hindi nakita, no, at hindi talaga binigyan ng pagkakataon. So, well, I think it's something that was carefully orchestrated also by the supporters of the president. Kaya nga itong ang pagbasura dun sa impeachment complaint laban sa kanya is something that we really expected.
So, Dr. Calilong, parang yung binanggit sa Senado, safe ka na pare
Safe na.
for 1 whole year.
Right, exactly. Ganun naman yun. Siyempre, yung legal technicalities, they will have to exploit on that.
Pero dito naman tayo kay VP Sara. Though kanina nabanggit mo na nga, may pangatlong impeachment complaint this week, kung ako nagkakamali, isasama sa order of business. Oo, tapos next, susunod yan, talakayin na sa Justice Committee. Anong tingin nyo rito, Doc Calilong?
Well, definitely the way I see it, medyo so ang baso ko kasi sa kanya ngayon medyo 50-50, no. Hindi kagaya nung 19 Congress na talagang medyo very solid, no, yung naging pag-backup dito ng ating mga congressmen. Well, for several reasons. Number one, iba yung composition ngayon ng ating Kongreso. Nakita naman natin nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa leadership. Yung kasing dating speaker really has all the intents to run for 2028, and he really would want to use the impeachment as a mechanism to derail the vice president from filing or her candidacy for 2028. Pero right now, since wala na nga siya, maaari itong magbago, no. Pangalawa, nakikita natin yung mga incentives, no, to actually support and vote for the impeachment na meron last year na maaaring hindi na present ngayon, ano, because of sinasabi nga nila a better scrutinized budget, no, to begin with. And thirdly, nakita ng mga congressmen natin yung firepower ni VP Sara nung nakarang eleksyon, yung mga sinuportahan niya, karamihan inanalo, at yun namang sinuportahan ng Pangulo, may mga nalaglag, no. So, they might be thinking of their political capital and their political future as well, especially for 2028, when some of them may be re-electionists, definitely, no. And maaaring unpopular move if they're going to impeach the VP because ito kumaga parang malalaman kung sino ba talaga yung mga pumirma laban sa ikalawang Pangulo. So, I think right now, there are some, from what I've heard, there are some congressmen who actually signed the first petition last year who are now contemplating whether or not they're going to support another impeachment. So, we'll see.
Right. So, binabanggit mo kung nung nakaraan solid na solid, ngayon mukhang may mga nagdadalawang isip, tama ba? Doc Calilong?
Tama po yun. That's how I see it. No, I'm also speaking to several people in the Congress. I have several friends in the Congress, and parang ganun nga yung ganun yung impression. Pero syempre, may mga diyan, may mga bloke talaga diyan na masasabi natin na talagang walang ibang gagawin kundi isulong yan. Lalong-lalo na syempre yung talagang gusto nilang makita na ma-impeach yung VP, no? Kasi meron talaga silang intention and political motivation to see her being impeached, no? Especially the Makabayan Bloc and those congressmen who are very close allies to the president and to the former speaker.
So sa makatwid, ito ay preparasyon na for 2028 elections. Pero Dr. Calilong, pagdating naman sa Senado, ano ang nakikita? 'Di ba last time merong nagkaroon ng tangkang kudeta? 'Di ba? May merong nagtangka na palitan si Senate President Tito Soto. Anong say po ninyo rito?
I think sa Senate kasi all of these things could always happen. No leadership is safe in the Senate, especially lalong-lalo na ngayon that there is this very polarizing and very divisive context because of the political happenings that are plaguing the country. Ulang-una na nga rito itong faction between the Dutertes and the Marcoses. Pangalawa, yung mga issues halimbawa sa West Philippine see these things actually creates a lot of divisive lines between the majority and the minority. And that titingnan natin dito no how solid no the alliances that were built and that the alliances that were formed in the Senate. Pero the way I see it because of the pronouncements then ni Senator Tito Soto, Senate President Tito Soto, especially when he tried to challenge the legal luminaries and the brilliant minds of the Supreme Court. I think it did not sit well with some members of the majority, primarily because they're trying to parang negate the expertise of a co-equal branch, and that is certainly not good, at least to some members of the majority. So titingnan natin how things will go. Pero yung threat of a possible senator, another Senate shake-up, particularly doon sa Senate presidency, is always present.
Lalo na kapag ganitong, 'di ba? Ano ba ngayon, Pebrero, pag malapit na yung SONA, 'di ba?
Right,
Pag malapit
exactly.
yung SONA.
Problema kasi nakikita ko, Dr. Kalilong, is, correct me if I'm wrong, manipis kasi yung
Mas konti sila kasi
yung
doon.
numero
oo.
ng pagitan ng majority sa minority eh.
Konti.
Kaya kung
right.
may isa, dalawa hanggang tatlong tumalon, todas ang
Oo.
majority eh, di ba?
That's right. Actually,
Konti lang.
nangyari na rin naman ito doon sa mga previous Senate leaderships. So wala talagang clear majority. Siguro meron lang majority in terms of numbers, pero yun nga in terms of yung solid alliances. And yun nga, yung tinatawag natin na backing up with each other, medyo hindi talaga siya present at this moment. So we'll see also. Things are very uncertain at this point in time, I would
May
say.
nakikita ka bang lilipat?
There are personalities that might again depending on how they actually see the turnout of events. Kasi nga I think one of the things that they also did not like, at least the members of the majority, is how the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee headed by Senator Panfilo Lacson has handled the flood control issue.
Investigation.
They felt that instead of pointing their guns at the real culprits, at the real people behind this, ang nangyari yung mga senators pa yung kanilang pinagtuunan ng pansin ngayon, which to me is okay, kung talagang may liability naman sila at may ginawa silang katiwalian, bakit hindi parurusahan talaga, ito naman naayon. Pero ang binabanggit natin dito at maaaring alam ng buong sambayanan, pero pilit inililihis at pilit pinagtatakpan ng liderato ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee ay yung mga tao at personalidad na sa tingin ko ay meron talagang mas malalim na pagkakaugnay dito sa flood control issue na to.
Yun ay sina?
Alam na po natin.
Handa yun mo,
pero
Dr. Kalilong, ngayon ka lang hindi nagbigay
Pero hindi, ako naman po I think we know whom I'm speaking about, and definitely I would
Can you read
want
my
to
lips?
yes. Are we speaking of IMR as the initials?
Parang ang hirap na mahulaan ng clue mo.
Yun nga po no.
Meron bang X dyan? X?
Kailangan ba matimbang ang dugo?
Yan po mukhang nakita na natin at tried and tested na rin naman.
Pero Doc, binabanggit nga nila mukhang pagka tumutungo yung tumbok sa mismong pintuan ng Malacanang, mukhang may nahihirinan Tama ba, Doc Kalilong?
Exactly. And yun nga yung binabanggit ko kanina kung bakit may mga ilang senador they are not really comfortable with the way the flood control mess is being handled. At sa nakikita na nga natin ngayon kung dati sobrang ingay nitong issue na to, ngayon definitely matatabunan na naman ito because of the impeachment complaints against the Vice President. So I think yung question kasi dito ng accountability and justice, I think this is what really the public intends to know and that what they really want to find out. Kaya nga sinasabi ko lagi na maaaring nagkakaroon na tayo ng impeachment fatigue. I think these people in the government should really go down the ground and ask really the people, do we really need need another impeachment when in fact itong mga issue na talagang kinakaharap natin mabibigat and all, hindi pa naman talaga natutuldukan at hindi pa nga natin nakikita na maparusahan yung talagang mga malalaking isda at tunay na salarin dito sa pagnanako na to ng billion-billion, trillion piso
Apo.
dito sa ating kabanang bayan.
Okay, lastly on my part, with your indulgence, Dr. Kalilong, alam naman na marami talaga na malakas pa rin si VP Sara. May mga nakikita ka na bang posibleng umusbong na pwedeng ipantapat sa VP sa
May mga
2028?
susulpot bang dark horse?
Aha. Nakikita ka ba?
Well, two things no that I'm actually we need to know. Number one, if the unpopularity of the current administration will continue and if the numbers and the trust ratings of the president will continue to plummet down, I'm very confident na yung kanyang i-endorso, kung meron na siyang i-endorso, that will be tantamount to a kiss of death, no? Ika nga, no? Parang reminiscent doon sa klase ng endorsement na ginawa ni President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo noong 2010, no? So the chances of whoever the president will be endorsing will be very limited. Now, open din naman at sinabi na nga ito ng third force no ng mga progressives ng mga liberals that they're open to a possible alliance with the administration bloc, no, which I find very absurd, no, because noong 2022 elections lang they were ganging with each other and they were so much against each other, pero right now posible po pala no na dahil sa mga interes at sa mga kadahilan ng politikal kaya po nilang kainin yung kanilang mga sinabi at kaya po nilang bawiin yung kanilang mga paratang sa isa't isa.
So,
And Senator Risa Hontiveros says that she is willing to run, pero kung titignan natin yung kanyang mga numero no nung mga nakaraang halalan, she placed 11th and she placed 12th no in the last senatorial election. So it's quite doubtful on my end how she will be able to muster enough firepower to actually go against VP Sara, considering na yung 12-man yun, 12-man yung pinagtatalunan doon, pero nasa tail end siya, no? So we'll see, if she could make it. John Vic Remulla also, I think, already signified his intent. So yun nga, alam naman natin that he was also a part of the sabihin na nating machinations para mawala rito, no, si President Duterte, which is again very very popular among the masses. So po pwedeng gamitin ito laban din kay John Vic Remulla. So Bam Aquino may actually may also emerge no as a possible contender, but then again, are we ready no for a yellow or a pink turnover, no? We'll see also. And of course, Leni Robredo already mentioned that she will not be running, pero alam naman natin, no, things could go different ways as the elections and the filing of the candidacy years.
Apo. So, last na lang, may nakikita ba kayong alas ang administrasyon? Dito na kasi tayo sa
Alas na nagsisimula sa letter V?
wala akong
At
mayabang
letter D? Ang mga pangalan at apelyido?
Hindi, kung hindi tao, maaring isang pangyayari. Do you see silver lining? Apo,
sa akin po kasi, no, I think ang mangyayari talaga rito is that the president will just stride carefully hanggang matapos na yung kanyang termino. Patuloy yung pagiging unpopular perhaps because wala naman talagang klarong direction, wala talaga tayong klarong legacy measure no on his part. Pero matatapos niya yung kanyang termino. And I think by then it's going to be a free for all for 2028, which I believe is better, no? Para talaga makita natin kung sino ba talaga yung malakas, ano? Sino ba talaga yung may kakayahan at sino ba talaga yung meron talagang mandato ng taong bayan. I think that's right now kasi nararamdaman na natin ng 2028, ay 2026 is 2028, no? And all the things that are happening right now is really within the purview of the 2028 elections. Kaya nga kinakailangan nilang magmadali, kinakailangan nilang bilisan kung ano man mga hakbang ang kanilang gagawin because they really need to stop and derail the Sara Duterte train from happening for 2028.
Tog lang gagawin ni anak yung ginawa ni ama. Yun lang.
Kaya,
Alright.
Sana naman hindi po. Sana
Opo.
naman hindi po.
Opo.
Kasi hindi po 'yun maganda para sa ating demokrasya.
Tama naman.
At hindi rin ito yung gusto ng ating taong bayan. So, we just need to continuously pray and hope for the best for the country kasi wherever the president goes, we go with it. Sabi ko nga, pero kung ganito rin man ang sitwasyon, siguro mas maganda na magpakahinahon tayo. Antayin na lang natin hanggang 2028. Anyway, by October of 2027, technically tapos na naman yung kanyang panunungkulan kasi nga all eyes and ears is gonna be for the next elections by May 2028.
Right? At as always, Dr. Calilong, maraming salamat sa pagkakataon. At dahil nga binabanggit mo, nakatanaw na sa 2028, madalas ka na rin naming aabalahin ulit.
Oo naman po, wala namang pong problema. Anytime.
Alright.
Maraming pong salamat.
Ingat po.
Ingat po.
Mabuhay po kayo. Salamat po.
Alright. Po mga kabalitan, kabalitaktakan, si Dr. Froilan Calilong, isa po sa mga kilalang political analyst dito